Hi mamas, it's Kiera with the Heavenly Welcome, and today I'm going to talk about how to prevent tearing when you're giving birth, because this is one of the big questions I've been getting a lot lately. So I'm excited to dive into this with you. And one thing I want to say before I start is that I so believe that God designed your body perfectly to birth your baby well without tearing. There is not a flaw in his design. He didn't make your baby too big for your body. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing, and he designed the labor process for you to stretch really well and perfectly around your baby's head and body. And there is no reason to believe that you have to tear, especially if you're partnering with his perfect design. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. Okay? So here we go. Tip number 1. I really encourage you to ask God for a tear-free birth. I really encourage moms to be specific with God about what they want for their birth. And if you don't want to tear, I say put that on your list, be specific about it, and ask him for that, and really believe him for that he can partner with you and stretch your vaginal muscles so well so that you don't have to tear when you're pushing your baby out. And I encourage you to bless those muscles. Bless them during the birth or even before the birth, but especially when you're pushing, like, bless them to be elastic and stretchy and loose and open. Just bless them, and there's power in your declaration and with the authority you have in Christ as you speak over those muscles. Okay, so that's my number 1 tip. Number 2, okay, this is really important. At the very end, when your baby's starting to crown, which means that their head is right at your vaginal opening and it's not coming back in anymore, it's just staying there. So that means your baby's going to be born any second or any minute. Right at that last stage there, right before your last push, you don't want to do that final push too hard. Okay, you want it to be slow and controlled as you ease your baby's head out. So you're probably going to be pushing pretty hard the pushes before that, but at the very end, you want to slow it down and controlled as you push baby's head out. And that is usually the main cause for a tear, is that the mom, that final push, she popped the baby out too quick, and it just didn't have time for her vaginal muscles to stretch quick enough. Okay, so, and I encourage you with this too, if you feel like your caregiver is putting pressure on you to push baby out faster than you feel comfortable with, you don't have to listen. I mean, unless there's some complication going on that they need to get the baby out quickly. But if everything's going well, take your time at the end. Don't feel pressure to push past if your vagina is not quite ready for that. I know for me with my second birth, my caregiver encouraged me, okay, I want you to push your baby out with the next push. And I thought, I don't feel quite ready for that. Like, it'd only been a few pushes and I felt like I'm not stretched enough. And so I said, I just want to wait one more. And she's like, oh, that's fine. Just wait another one. So read your body. You'll kind of know what you're feeling. And when you feel ready, then slowly and controlled push that head out. And one way to help you, because that might feel a little hard if you feel like your body's spontaneously pushing and you're like, I have no control over how hard my body's pushing right now, which sometimes can happen. So if that's you, one thing that can really help is just some slow, quick breaths during that final push. So as you're pushing, like, and you kind of breathe your baby out versus like one big push at the end. Okay? Okay, tip number 3. Keep your mouth and your jaw open when you're pushing, especially at the end. So Ina Mae Gaskin, I love her. She's our nation's leading midwife. She's delivered over 2,000 babies. And she says very rarely has she ever seen a woman tear whose mouth and jaw was open when she was pushing the baby out. So the way God designed our bodies to work, if your mouth and jaw are tight, it's directly connected to your pelvic floor muscles, and all those muscles down there are going to be tight. But if your mouth and jaw are open, it's going to open up all those muscles down there. So this is why it's really important. She said most women who tear are clenching their jaw when they're pushing, so they're kind of like that. So you really want to keep your mouth open, keep your jaw open. Some tips to help you do that. One is singing. She actually encourages some moms to sing while they're pushing because it forces them to keep their mouth open. You can also moan, like, as you're pushing your baby out, that final, couple pushes. Some sighs, like, A lot of times you'll hear moms making those kind of sounds when they're pushing, and that's a very effective way to keep from tearing. And you just want low sounds, though. If you make high-pitched sounds, those tend to tighten you up. But low sounds that vibrate your chest, like, I can feel that in my chest, those are the ones that are going to open you up really well. And if you feel like you're really having a hard time not clenching your jaw, another little trick you can try, you might feel silly, but who cares if it's, you know, going to prevent you from tearing, is to do horse lips. So that looks like going and that, I mean, there's no way you can tighten your mouth when you're doing that. And so it's just going to open up all your vaginal muscles too. Okay, so that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, visualize your vagina getting huge. Okay, so our minds are incredibly powerful. And if in your mind you believe, oh my gosh, there's no way this baby's going to fit. There's no way this baby's going to fit. It probably isn't going to fit very well because that is going to tighten you up down there. But if in your mind you're believing, no, there's plenty of room. My vagina is getting huge right now. It's opening up huge. It will open up huge. And one of my favorite stories with this is Ina May tells the story that the mom, one of her clients, a mom who stretched the most she'd ever seen, she asked her about it after the birth, and she said, wow, you stretch so easily and big. And she said, was there a trick you used? And the mom told her, well, I just was saying in my mind the mantra you gave me. And Ina May said, I didn't give you a mantra. And she said, well, yeah, before the birth, I told you I was really scared of tearing. And you told me, oh, don't worry, when the time comes, you're going to get huge. She said, so the whole time I was pushing, I kept telling myself, I'm going to get huge. I'm going to get huge. I'm going to get huge. And she got huge. Okay, so that is tip number 4 for you. Okay, tip number 5, if you feel comfortable, try kissing with your partner during the pushing phase. Because what kissing does, if you can start getting turned on, that's going to send blood flow to all your lower regions. And that is going to get you loose and open. And that is why foreplay is so important during intercourse, because it's that foreplay and the kissing that sends the blood flow to your lower regions that opens you up so that you are able to stretch well around your partner and intercourse isn't painful. Well, it's the exact same thing during birth. And again, Ina May says that she's never seen a woman tear who was kissing during the pushing phase. So I don't know if you'll feel comfortable with that wherever you're giving birth, but if you do, go for it. Okay, tip number 6 is if you really have a fear of tearing, maybe you tore in the past and you have a fear of it this next time, express that fear to your caregiver and really ask them to give you some good counter pressure as you're pushing the baby out. Now, they will probably be doing that anyways because most of them do, but it might help you just to vocalize it and ask them if they're doing it just to give you some reassurance that they are there helping protect your perineal floor and your vaginal muscles. So basically what they're going to do is as baby's coming out, they're going to push on those muscles just to make sure baby's head doesn't come out too fast and give some support to your muscles to help keep them intact. And they might do some perineal massage with their fingers and just kind of help stretch those vaginal muscles and open them up. If they're kind of tight on one side, they might focus on that one side. And so they can really provide some awesome support to keep you from tearing. And so if that's something you really want, ask them for that. And as you're pushing baby out, ask them like, make sure, help support my muscles down there. And they'll say, we got it, we will. And that can be in a really effective way to prevent tearing. Okay, tip number 7, if you feel like baby's coming out too fast, lay down for that last push because gravity can help baby come a lot faster. And if you feel like he's already coming too fast, then you just don't want gravity helping him pull the baby down even faster. So get in a position where gravity's not going to do that, and that can really help tearing with that final push. And my last tip, number 8, is to do some perineal massage before the birth. Now, there's some controversy about this, whether that actually helps tearing or not. Some people say yes, some people say no. Some people don't recommend it because they say, well, you don't want your fingers up in there and causing any infection before the birth. But a lot of caregivers really recommend it. And basically what you want to do is get your fingers really clean so you don't get any infection up in there. Use some coconut oil, and you're going to use your fingers to massage the opening of your vagina ahead of time and start getting it nice and loose and stretchy. And one of the really good things about this is you can practice relaxing into that stretching feeling so that during birth, when you feel that same sensation, you already know how to relax into it instead of tensing up at it. And so I really encourage you, start with your thumb, get some coconut oil on it, and just do some firm pressure on just one side of your vagina. And just kind of push down. And as you do, take some nice slow breaths. Practice relaxing every muscle in your body. Practice relaxing all your pelvic floor muscles and just relax into it and don't tighten against that sensation. And then once you're relaxed, kind of move your thumb over and do a little different spot on the vaginal wall and just kind of go around the opening of your vagina and practice pushing on it, stretching it, and practice relaxing into that sensation. And that is really going to help you from tensing up during birth because you're going to be used to that sensation and be like, this sensation doesn't freak me out. It doesn't cause me any fear, and I'm just going to relax into it, and you're going to do great. So those are my 8 tips. Put them into practice, and I really believe you have a very, very great chance of not tearing. Again, God designed your body so perfectly. He knew exactly what he was doing. And as you partner with his design and stay relaxed, keep your mouth and jaw open, are surrendering to him, not pushing your baby out too fast, that final push, you're going to do awesome. I believe you're not going to tear. I declare over you a tear-free birth, and you're going to do awesome, Mom. Jesus is going to be with you every step of the way, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful, amazing experience for you. Okay, be blessed.